This will be a relatively short video about horizontal projectile motion. So, to save time, sinulat ko na yung buong problem solving at ito yung sample problem number 1. A marble rolls off the edge of a tabletop with an initial velocity of 15 meters per second. In 0.5 seconds, how far does it travel vertically and horizontally? So if you can recall, meron tayong dalawang distances. Yung vertical, which is up and down, and then horizontal, side to side. So yung dalawang distances na yan, ang tawag dyan ay kapag up and down, height. Well, kapag horizontal naman, ang tawag dyan ay range. So, yan yung dalawang term na gagamitin natin for projectile motion. Well, for projectile motion, yung dinidiscuss natin dito is all about horizontal projectile motion. Kasi nga meron din tayong dalawang type. So, meron yung horizontal which looks like this. Padiretso lang siya na ganyan. Ibig sabihin yan, yung nakaka-affect lang dito is yung horizontal and vertical downwards. While the second one naman is parabolic in nature, which is paganting motion niya. This one is called an angle projectile motion or a projectile motion launched at an angle. So dito naman sa may side na to, parang dalawang pinagsama na horizontal motion kasi nga meron tayong launch which is yung papataas, and then meron tayo na papababa ulit. So, in this case, merong angle dito, and meron din angle ulit doon. Well, in this case, sa may kabila naman, sa may horizontal projectile motion, isa lang. So, ang itatakal natin ngayon ay tungkol sa horizontal projectile motion. So, to visualize kung ano nangyayari sa situation na binigay natin, meron daw tayong table, tapos merong marble na nahulog. So, yung marble natin is nahulog daw siya. The initial velocity is about VI or initial velocity is about 15 meters per second. While the time given is equal to 0.5 seconds. So, ngayon yung hinahanap natin is yung how far or the distance vertically and horizontally. Ibig sabihin nito, vertically, what is the height? And horizontally, what is the range? So, yan yung hanapin natin. So, for us to do that, kailangan muna natin ilista yung mga given natin. So, what are the given? VI is equal to this one. Bakit siya velocity? Kasi nga, yung unit for velocity is meters per second. So, that's 15 meters per second. And the next given is yung time. So, the time given is equal to 0.5 seconds. Of course, kapag time, seconds, minutes, hours. Yan yung unit. So, yan yung given natin. So, now, anong next after natin ma-identify yung mga required? Mga given. Of course, ang next dito ay yung required. So, ano yung required natin based on the situation? Sabi na natin, yan yung height. Okay, so nasabi na natin, yan yung height. And then yung range. Ano-ano yung mga solution na pwede natin gamitin? Of course, meron tayong mga formula na na-enumerate na before. So, I-quickly recall lang natin kapag horizontal, for horizontal projectile motion, ito yung mga formula. So for the acceleration, kapag horizontal, 0 meters per second square. Kapag vertical naman, of course, acceleration is always equal to the constant value for acceleration due to gravity, which is g. Okay, so for velocity, meron tayong dalawang type. Meron tayong initial velocity, which is for horizontal, that's Vix, at meron din tayong Vfx, or yung final velocity along x-axis. And of course, kapag vertical naman, meron tayong Viy and Vfy. Ibig sabihin yan, yung motion along x-axis or horizontal and yung motion along y-axis or vertical. So, initial velocity and final velocity for both sides. So, paano natin yan kunin? Para makuha natin yung initial velocity, kailangan lang isolve yung Vi cosine angle, theta or angle. Kung marirecall nyo kanina, meron tayong angle na nilagay. Ito yon at ito rin yon. So, ang gagamitin lang natin for solving the initial velocity is Vi cosine theta. While for vertical naman, we use Vi sine theta. For final velocity, equal lang siya. Is equal to Vix. While for Vfy, that's Viy plus gt. Again, g stands for acceleration due to gravity. The next one, how about for displacement or d? Again, kung matatandaan nyo, displacement is also equal to, for horizontal, range, while for vertical, that's height. For the range, we will use VIT, or initial velocity times time. Well, for the height, we can use 1/2 gt squared. Or pwede rin natin gamitin ang h is equal to Vfy squared minus Viy squared divided by 2g. Kaya ito yung mga formula na pwede natin gamitin for solving horizontal projectile motion. Okay, so now, anong equation yung gagamitin natin para ma-solve yung height and range? So for height, ano yung pwede natin gamitin? That's 1/2 gt squared. Bakit yan yung pinili natin? Meron tayong g, which is gravitational, acceleration due to gravity, and then t, which is the time. So yan yung gagamitin natin para ma-solve natin yung height. Okay, how about for the range? Range is equal to, anong pwede natin gamitin? Vi x times time. Yan yung pwede natin gamitin para ma-solve yung range. Bakit yan? Of course, dahil meron na tayong Vi, which is, andyan na, which is given na dyan. And then, meron din tayong time, which is also given. Kaya, ang suggestion natin, always use the equation which has all the given already cited. Or gamitin natin yung mga already present na given. Now, let's solve for the height first. To solve for the height, we use the equation 1/2 gt squared. So height is equal to 0.5 times the gravity, which is equal to the constant value of of acceleration due to gravity, which is equal to 9.8 meters per second squared times the time, which is equal to 0.5 seconds. Tapos yung squared, wag natin kakalimutan. Again, saan galing yung 0.5? Galing siya sa may time which is already present dito. Diyan sa may given natin. Tapos, saan galing yung 9.8 meters per second? Constant value siya, meaning it doesn't change. So, height then is equal to, quickly solve lang natin. So, that's 1.23. I-round na natin. What's the unit for height? Meters. So, yan na yung final answer natin for the height. Okay? Now, let's solve for the range. So, range is equal to VIX. Pero, ang tanong, paano natin kukunin yung VIX? Before natin ma-solve yan, kailangan muna natin kunin yung VIX. VIX is equal to yung formula kanina, VI cosine theta. Ano usually yung angle ng ganito? This one is 90 degrees, tama? So, yan yung gagamitin natin para makuha yung angle dito. Okay, so VIX times, what's the VI? Initial velocity. That's equal to 15 meters per second times cosine 90 degrees. So, saan galing yung 15 dyan? Galing siya sa given na VI. Yan. So, blue. So, VIX then is equal to, same pa rin, 15. So, 15 meters per second pa rin siya. Ni-round lang natin, okay? So, gamitin natin yan. R is equal to VIX, that's 15 meters per second times time, which is equal to 0.5 seconds. So, ang magiging answer dyan, 15 times 0.5 is equal to 7.5. So, the range is equal to 7.5. Ano ulit yung unit for range? That's in meters. Okay? So, again, saan galing yung 15 meters per second dyan? Galing siya sa VIX na sinolve natin using this formula. And 0.5 is the time. Yan. Or pwede naman yung VIX, diretso na natin na initial velocity. So, yan ngayon yung range natin. Okay? So, now, try to answer this.